What's good, everybody? Welcome to a video on why you need to take a magnesium supplement. I would recommend going back and watching my biochemistry of magnesium video to understand what happens when you are deficient in magnesium, which you can see a list of. I would say most often people end up taking magnesium because they notice they have a lot of heart palpitations and or an arrhythmia. But otherwise it's, kind of all over the place. Now, you need to supplement magnesium because virtually everybody in the world is magnesium deficient. And I would argue it is more likely if you are in a first world country that you are magnesium deficient. And this is because of a variety of reasons. I've outlined kind of the three most common ones, but overall it's because there's been a significant reduction in the magnesium of the soil, and ultimately because of that, fruits and vegetables that come from the soil. This is because of inadequate replenishment of magnesium after we farm, weathering and erosion, which soil is eroded into rivers and it brings with the magnesium, and we never replenish it, then, there's going to be lower magnesium level. But I would argue probably the most impactful thing that we've done now is there's a significant overuse of high potassium fertilizers. And this decreases the amount of magnesium in plants because the plants preferentially uptake potassium over magnesium. And so even if there is an ample amount of magnesium in the soil, because the plant would rather have the potassium and it's there in such high amounts, the magnesium won't get absorbed. Over the course of human history, we had a normal amount of magnesium in the soil and people had normal magnesium blood levels, but now modern humans, we essentially don't. Furthermore, as always, this goes for any micronutrients. Refining and processing food strips magnesium as well. And then the last reason that we're deficient is, and we're not told to supplement by our doctors, is because it's very difficult to diagnose magnesium deficiency. There's not one particular sign or symptom that you can point to say, yes, you are deficient in magnesium. In other deficiencies like, vitamin D or calcium, you'll have frequent, bone breaks, or you'll have chipping of your teeth easily. You'll have bone pain. If you have scurvy, you'll have bleeding gums, but there's nothing quite so obvious that you can point to in magnesium deficiency to where your doctor can really be on top of it like he should be. Furthermore, even if your doctor does suspect that you have magnesium deficiency and he, gets the proper blood work and gets your serum magnesium, it may not accurately reflect the magnesium level in your body for a variety of reasons, but the most important is probably that the normal parameters that we currently have for magnesium are very skewed. And you can just think of this like if in the past people had normal magnesium levels and it's just declined over time due to our farming practices, and we all of a sudden create these normal tables based on a range of, confidence limits of our normal population that we have now, then even if you get a magnesium level within those parameters, it's still low. And so, 10 to 42% of people in developed nations have a serum deficiency that, if your doctor were to take your blood, they'll say, oh yeah, you're deficient in magnesium. Problem is, even if you don't fall into that category, you still could be magnesium deficient and you just have essentially been misdiagnosed, and they'll probably chase you down some other rabbit hole. And the test that you should do in order to definitively prove whether or not you're magnesium deficient is called a magnesium load test. Give you an IV of magnesium over an hour, and if less than 70% of the magnesium that you got comes out in your urine over 16 hours, it indicates deficiency, because if you are peeing out less than 70%, that means that your bones and your muscles are holding on to the magnesium because they're deficient in it. I don't think for anyone generally it's necessary to do this, but if you want to definitively know, that's the best way to do it. Or if your doctor keeps on insisting the blood test says you're fine and you want to prove it, that's what I would do. But ultimately, supplementing magnesium is very safe as long as you keep it between, 20 to 80% of your daily value. Obviously, I wouldn't take more than that. Your body does need to maintain a homeostasis, and having too much magnesium could damage your kidneys or lead to other issues such as kind of diminished reflexes or slow heart rate, low blood pressure, nausea, or vomiting. So my recommendation is to take 150 to 340 milligrams of magnesium citrate or glycinate daily. And this is anywhere from 20 to 80% of your RDA is, I think, appropriate and will get you to your normal level. Magnesium citrate is used as a laxative, and you will, maybe have gas or maybe go to the bathroom more often. So that is something to note. Whereas magnesium glycinate is glycine, which is kind of a precursor product for GABA and glutamate neurotransmitters. So there's some thought, and in theory, it should work to create or kind of encourage the creation of more GABA neurotransmitters, which can help to add to kind of the calm effects that you feel when you take magnesium. So I hope this video has been informative and I've convinced you to take magnesium. Hope you have a good rest of your day.